What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content related to helping you grow your app downloads and, more importantly, those revenues. And today I've got a phenomenal guest. He's a 4-time startup founder, really was instrumental in helping PrizePicks. Yes, that number one, let me make sure I get PrizePicks, the number one app for sports, the number one sports app. Oh, duh. I thought they were talking about daily fantasy. Anyways, you don't even know what's going on in my head. But he's been instrumental in helping PrizePicks go from really like a few amount of users to number one in the sports app store category. And he's going to help you figure out how you take your app idea if you don't already have one. And if you already have one, the fundamentals of a successful app idea and simplicity is going to win it all. We're going to break it all for you down right now. So stay tuned. Yo, Sanchi, I like that new song. Alim, welcome to the show, my friend. How are you?
Thank you. Yeah, the introduction is fire, man. Thank you so much for having me.
Dude, I'm excited to have you because you've helped over 2,000 entrepreneurs turn their app ideas into profitable apps. And I like how you're leaning into the profitable apps, because I think too many people try to sell a pipe dreams. You're like, look, let's just get to profitability first.
Absolutely. Or I think people forget that we're all here to make money, right? And an app can quickly become a rabbit hole. And we got to remember why we're doing it in the first place. We're all here to make money, and there's no shame in doing that. And so sometimes it does get a little bit, there's some pressure on having to deliver such a high result for our students. But hey, we're all here to make money. This isn't like crypto. This isn't like drop shipping and all this other, honestly, crap on the internet that has a very low success rate. I think mobile apps are extremely underserved, and it's a wide open market. And yeah, you got to make money with it.
I love it, man. So let me do a proper intro. Alim is a 4-time founder. He's behind the business Ambitious Labs, and I'm going to pull that up as well. And we got an interesting offer for you guys. So if you don't have an app, you have an app idea right now, and you want to figure out Alim's strategy for helping over 2,000 right here entrepreneurs launch profitable apps, it's Ambitious Labs. There's a link in your favorite podcast app and YouTube video. And if you mention App Masters, you will save $500 off. That's what we're going to really break down. But he's the founder of Ambitious Labs. He's 4-time founder. He's helped generate over $100 million in app revenues, scaled apps from 10,000 to 2 million users. And he was previously head of mobile at PrizePicks, the number one sports app right there. So that's a proper intro for you, Alim. But tell me how it all started, and like maybe the inspiration for doing Ambitious Labs.
Yeah, I mean, I've been building apps since I was 16. I had to teach myself Objective-C back when I was in high school, just to build like a really basic 1-rep max calculator app for like my senior project. That took months to, like, honestly took a whole school year to figure out how to build. And I realized, like, okay, apps are super cool, but they're really hard to build. And so I kept building apps, and through college, I had a couple good jobs. I was building a startup called Season Share while I was in college. We raised a couple $1 million from the San Francisco 49ers, and it took me literally all year to build a really simple MVP. I hired a bunch of developers on Upwork from India, Pakistan, all over the world, and it was an incredible experience being able to leverage talent internationally and be able to do it in a cost-effective way. But there's so many problems with that you only realize after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, like coordinating time zones, clearly managing expectations, clearly defining the product, clearly defining requirements. There's so much that goes on. So I built out this overseas team. We definitely launched the product. And then after that, I got recruited to be the head mobile engineer at PrizePicks back around COVID. Because what happened was we had scaled up our ticketing company, Season Share. I had moved home from college, and I was working out of my parents' bedroom, and I was trying to live that startup dream. Like, hey, I want to grow a startup. I want to live in my parents' house and then sell it for millions of dollars and be rich and take care of my family. So was trying to live that dream. And then what happened is COVID took our business completely down. So we built like the Airbnb of season tickets. It was called Season Share, where you could upload a season ticket and then share it with your friends. Mm-hmm. Then COVID completely tanked our business, and we had to completely stop operating. And our investors said, hey, you got to stop paying yourselves. We kind of want our money back at this point. Y'all need to chill until sports come back. So we ended up stopping the business. And then I moved over to PrizePicks. I had an introduction to go lead mobile engineering at PrizePicks. we were just a small app at that point, and the founders actually had gotten an app that was given to them by overseas engineers, and they were able to scale up to a few thousand users perfectly. It wasn't a great app, I will say, and the app had a lot of technical debt. And pretty much what they did is they said, "Hey, Alim, here's the current app that we have. It's got a few thousand users. We need you to rebuild it by football season. NFL kickoff is in 2 months. Go now." And so I was at my parents' house, and I'm like, "All right, let's get going." So I joined the team at PrizePicks, and I completely rebuilt the mobile app. It took me 2 months of just grinding. And then from there, we launched during NFL season. And then a lot of my friends were looking at me like, "Alim, what are you working on? Some like sketchy, illegal sports betting app? Like, you're never going to make it, bro. Like, you're wasting your time." Like, and my friends were so skeptical. A lot of them were negative. My own father honestly didn't want me to work for PrizePicks. He was like, "I don't want you working for a gambling company. This sounds like a scam. Like, leave the job. They're underpaying you. Go work at Google. And that's what you're supposed to do anyways." And I was like, "No, like, I want to do this. Like, I fully believe in apps, and I fully believe in fantasy." And then, man, next thing you know, we just go, and it was a rocket ship. And then we just blew up. And next thing you know, instead of my friends talking crap, they ended up being like, "Yo, Alim, we just saw an ad," or "Alim, we just downloaded PrizePicks." And
That's cool.
from there, it was just a crazy, crazy experience. But anyways, throughout that whole journey, I've not only been building apps for companies, but I've also been building a lot of my own projects and advising a lot of early stage startup founders. And I've just seen the same mistake time and time again. You have an idea for an app, you dart straight to Fiverr, straight to Upwork, you find somebody overseas, you try to throw money at this idea, but you have no idea the recipe that you need to cook up a successful, profitable app. And I think that's the recipe that you've cracked after analyzing thousands of apps. And I've actually, during that whole experience, I've been watching you every step of the way, all of your videos throughout that journey building these companies. And I'm like, "Hey, this is the code. We cracked it." But people don't understand what that code is. And I think we're going to get into it today.
Yeah, let's get into it. And I mean, you got some phenomenal success stories of people you're helping. And Alim, like, I think we're aligned. And I just want to help indies too. Like, it isn't about like, I think a lot of times people think I only work with small clients. I'm like, no, we work with really big clients too. It's just, I love the entrepreneur. I love working with the entrepreneur because then you're changing somebody's life. Yes, if I work with a big company, I might be changing their title and all that stuff. And maybe there's some instrumental life changes too. But if you help an entrepreneur and you help them make more money and they get to live off of that money, yo, that's like a great feeling for me too.
For sure, man. For sure. Internet money, that first bit of internet money, there's no better feeling. Like, even if it's $10, $100, there's no better feeling knowing that you've unlocked a brand new stream of income that has no cap to it.
Yeah, I love it, dude. Joe's loving this so far. So loving the discussion. What's up, Seb? Good to see you. Miri from England, Luis, and then Pablo. Good to see all of you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate it. All right. All right, Alim. I know you prepared something for us. Let's get into that presentation. You got it up? So
yeah, let's do it. I'm about to drop a lot of game, probably more than I should, but I'm a big believer in giving, and karma will come back. So let's do this. Can you all see my screen? I think so.
Bring it up.
Nice. So some proof, because it's really hard to like flex sometimes that I've generated over $100 million, in a mobile app. So just some proof. I wasn't the only one. I was just one of, when I first joined PrizePicks back in August 2020, I was the head mobile engineer. We were just 15 people, and then we scaled up to a company of like 300 employees. So definitely a huge operation, not just me, but I was a very core pillar as I built the main product. This is PrizePicks. For those of you who don't know, at the time I grabbed this screenshot, we were number 2. And then I have this chart here. So if you see, I joined August of 2020, and that's about right here when there's virtually like 0 users. We probably were making a little bit of money, but like not enough to like really call ourselves like a success yet. So I joined around here, and then I left right at the top right here. And I left for my own reasons, because I'm a big 0 to 1 kind of guy. And I took the company helped grow the app from like 0 to 10. And we just got so big. My engineering team was 20 people. I just love working in small teams and like idea to revenues. That's what I did at Season Share. And so I just got a little bored, and I decided to leave, and they just kept going up since then. So that was an amazing journey. Absolutely surreal. And then, yeah, this was a news article from my first company, Season Share, where we raised $2 million from a lot of really well-known sports teams like the San Francisco 49ers and the San Antonio Spurs, and you name it. We were working with like 35 different clients, and I was doing this all when I was like 20, 21. And this is a big piece of advice. Like I had no clue what I was doing any of this experience, right? I'm learning all this stuff on the fly. I have a business degree. I don't even have a computer science degree. I taught myself how to code, and I was faking it every second I was awake. So I want everybody to know that I'm just like you. You don't need to have a computer science degree. You don't need to be on from Stanford. You don't need to live in Silicon Valley. Like I bet Steve, just like you too, we come from humble beginnings. I come from a small business family, and you can do it. You 100% can. So I just want to put that out there.
I love it, man.
So another thing that I know that Steve's really well aligned with here is like the technology doesn't matter that you use to build your app. Steve, how many times do you hear that excuse where like, oh, I want to use it. I want to use React, or should I use Capacitor? Or should I use this? Have you ever hear that excuse from entrepreneurs?
Oh, dude, I don't hear his excuse. It's just a question. I'm like, just pick one and go. Like, who cares? Just pick one. Pick whatever you want.
You were telling me in our last call that you scaled an app to $500 a month that was built on Glide, right? Or Adalo?
No, it was called Corona. That's why I don't call it that anymore. But it was called Corona, and then it was around, and I think they sold to Adobe. But it was, dude, I tried to learn Objective-C. Couldn't learn it. And then Corona came along. They had a meetup in San Jose, California. I went to that meetup. I brought my brother-in-law, and they were like, here's how you make a ball drop. And I was like, this line of code. I was like, oh, I know that line of code. It's JavaScript. I have some PHP background. And so I was like, oh, I can understand that finally. And so because I finally understood the code, I was then now tweaking. And then what I did was they had templates in their gallery. So I took a template that was like a photo gallery template, and I modified it into a flashcard app. So I took it into, and then that helped me like learn how to code, so I can see what the existing code did. And if I change this, it would change that. And I was like, oh, what if they tap it on the top part? And then anyways, that's how I learned. And that was the best way to learn for me, because I couldn't start from a blank template. You know, I wouldn't know where to start.
Absolutely.
But since I had a template, I could modify the code and then learn. And then I started fresh. I was able to start from fresh because I started from something in the middle too.
No, the 100%. That's fantastic. You were trial and erroring, and that's what I do. Like I'll find some existing code, I'll use it, and then I'll tweak it to do what I want until I find out where it breaks. But most importantly, understand why it broke. So then you're also like kind of building this skill set as well at the same time.
Love it.
That's awesome. So PrizePicks, actually, I had built this using a HTML CSS framework called Capacitor.js. So literally, people to this day don't believe that PrizePicks was literally just a website that we compiled onto a mobile app and then scaled it to the #1 app on the App Store. It was literally just a website compiled onto a mobile app. And oftentimes we hear entrepreneurs just talk about what stack should they use. It doesn't matter. Your users do not know what stack you're using. It just needs to work and solve the problem. Of course, it shouldn't be like buggy, and it shouldn't be like, it shouldn't have like obvious visual problems, but like it just needs to work. So don't overthink that is the #1 rule I have. I think you've covered a lot of these apps on your channel, Steve. And one cool thing I've noticed about your channel is that a lot of the apps that you covered are this type of app that I'm about to talk about. I know you interviewed my friend Steven Cravata. He's an awesome friend, and he crushed it. He scaled his mobile app to 40K MRR with just 15 screens on his app. And we'll talk about like the significance of why I'm saying 15 screens, but there's a bunch of apps being launched by people who don't know how to code. Like each one of these guys literally look 20 years old or less, and they definitely don't have computer science degrees, but they're building apps that are producing insane amounts of revenue. $2 million a month for Cal AI, $150K a month for UMax, which I know is actually a lot lower than where he was. Quitter is crushing it right now, $140K a month, but I know that they were actually closer to $1 million a month a while ago. But each one of these apps solves a unique problem in somebody's life, and they're printing millions and millions of dollars using the same strategy that a lot of these e-commerce entrepreneurs are using, where they build a product and then they use TikTok and Instagram and YouTube and some of these organic channels that are a lot more prone to go viral to actually market the app. So it's the same strategy that like TikTok shop creators are using and e-com creators are using, but they're using it for apps. I'm not going to specifically get into all the marketing like on this call. I think marketing is a whole different beast, but I will show you kind of like the fundamentals of like, how do you set up your app to be able to market it and actually consistently produce revenue. Cool. Steve, I'm not sure if you agree here, but like 99% of mobile app founders that I talk to are overcomplicating their ideas. And the cold truth is, if you're watching this, maybe not, but you probably are overcomplicating it. And you can definitely always shrink down your scope of work. I think we have a rule at Ambitious Labs where if any of our builders are stuck, we always revert to, can we de-scope? Can we remove any of these features? Will it break the app? Because our main goal is to launch. Because once you launch, it's like a snowball. It's way easier to push a snowball that's like already rolling than it is to just like keep trying to grab snow and kind of tack it onto this snowball, right?
Love it. Great analogy. No, I completely agree. Completely agree.
So simple scales, complex fails here. All right, let's jump into the meat of it. So single player utility apps right now are the fastest way to make money with mobile apps. And I know this word sounds kind of daunting, but these are all the types of apps that I've seen Steve cover on his channel. Like, Steve, I'm seeing you talk about to all these successful founders, and most of them are single player utility apps. A single player utility app doesn't have to be a game. I know it can be kind of, you can kind of infer that it might be a game from using the word single player, but all a single player utility app is, everybody, is an app with no social features that's designed for one user and has a very clear path to solving the problem for a user. And you're aiming for an average session duration time of like 2 minutes. You want people going into your app and solving a problem and getting right back out. Mobile app founders need to understand that we are competing for screen time. We're competing for attention span. And with people spending between 5 to 6 hours a day on their phone, like, we're competing against Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, Messages app, WhatsApp, you name it. So if you want to get a slice of that person's screen time, we need to aim for like the lowest amount of time investment, but the highest amount of value out. So these types of apps are perfect for like subscriptions and like one-time purchases. So like, I see a lot of entrepreneurs come into our program and we start chalking up their business model. And actually, we actually are starting to reject all of these apps now. We've realized that we only want to stick to mobile apps that are subscription based or in-app purchase based. No more like, I want to monetize with ads, I want to monetize with commissions, or I'm going to do white label, or I'm going to do a service fee, and like, we're going to do a 2-sided or 3-sided marketplace, and we're going to take an escrow in between. Like, no, we're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Focus just on subscriptions and one-time purchases, because those are the apps that are absolutely printing money. We've studied the top 1,000 apps, and 60% of them are less than 20 screens, and they're all subscription and in-app purchase based. And pretty much all the successful apps that you've covered on your channel are the same. Any comments there, Steve?
No, I love it, man. I love it. I don't want to take away from this is your philosophy, and I love it too. I agree.
So a clear utility here, right? Like, we want to solve a small problem in a big market. And you are like the king of talking about this, Steve. Like, you're always like the niche. Like, everybody that comes to your channel, they know that you talk about the niche. And I have this term now that I found in the book, $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. It's like, don't make me niche slap you. And
yeah, I like that one.
Sometimes it's pretty fun to think about, like, how much more niche can we go? And like, one example of this is like, we get people who want to build fitness apps. Fantastic. Fitness apps are fantastic businesses, but there's so many fitness apps. So how do you differentiate, right? We can talk about weight loss. We can talk about South Indian vegan bodybuilding. We can talk about like the Chinese diet. We can talk about vegan diets. Like, there's so many like little angles. And then you actually told me this on our last call, which was like, you can have the same app, but if you market it at a different angle, you can produce completely different results. Like, for example, a meditation app, but you market it as anxiety relief, right? We have somebody in our program actually who built a meditation app, and she was like, how do I scale this? How do I get users? And it was right after I got off the call with you. And she had told me that the reason she came up with this idea was because it was either her or somebody in her life was having seizures. And I was like, that is the most painful marketing angle you can think of. Like, use the same product, but market it as like seizure relief or like seizure prevention. And that is such a scary thing to somebody, that it's going to touch them in the right place to where they will download your app. And if the solution is the same and it helps them achieve the benefit of, preventing seizures, like, that is a completely different market that you can tap into. That's so big. You can build a multi-million-dollar business out of that. You don't have to just think about, okay, is this a meditation app? I think we need to think about like the actual problem that it's solving for the end user. And that's like one way that you can niche.
Yeah, that's a perfect example, Alim, because it's like you want to make people feel better, right? And it's like, okay, that's what meditation is. But then if you say, I'm going to help you relieve anxiety, then that's a painkiller. Like I know exactly what my problem is solving, and I know you're like, hey, I want to I want to help entrepreneurs make profitable apps. I want to help entrepreneurs the same way, right? And so I'm like, I want to take I'm for them, for you, they have to have an app idea. For me, like they already have an app. So I want to help them try to live their dreams. And so those are the things that pump me up. And it's like how you do it. People focus more on the how you do it. No, instead of like what the problem you're actually solving.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're guilty, right? We're all like builders in our program. And like builders are so in the weeds that we think we need to sell what we're building. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, we built this feature. Let's sell this feature. But marketers don't sell features. Marketers sell like outcomes and benefits, right? So that's been a really tough challenge in our community. Like when we see our builders launch, it's so beautiful. We're like, oh my God, y'all finally launched. But then we look at their app store screenshots and we're like, did you not watch the copywriting section? Like, don't sell your features, sell the benefit. And so that's something that we're always working on.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, so these apps follow a very simple structure. Like all businesses, regardless of its, Ambitious Labs or a mobile app or a delivery business, you name it, all scalable businesses are just math problems. So if you set your mobile app up in a very like systematic or sequential way, you can set it up to where it can be represented as a math equation. And before I get there, let me kind of talk to you about the flow. Like, first of all, we have downloads, right? We need downloads. We get downloads from ads. We get downloads from ASO. We get downloads from YouTube, TikTok, wherever. We just get downloads from somewhere. Then somebody downloads your app and goes into your onboarding flow. And I know that you talk about this as well, but like the 3-step onboarding questionnaire, that is crucial. That's where your customers are being built. You got to think of that as like somebody walks into your store and you're asking them questions on if you have something to sell them. That's how I think about like the onboarding questionnaire. Somebody downloaded your app, i.e. they walked into your store. Your onboarding questionnaire is supposed to figure out A, if they're the right fit for you, B, do they have a problem that you can solve, and C, do you have a solution for them? Those are the main 3 onboarding questions that I think you should be asking. And of course, we've seen people do tests with longer onboarding flows, shorter onboarding flows. People are now like splitting up onboarding flows and like adding like graphics in the middle. But my point is that your onboarding flow is like your lead qualification, if you will. It ensures that the person who downloaded your app is fit for your product. And if they make it through that onboarding, that's when they see the paywall. And the paywall, like if you're running a grocery store or a shop, it's like you telling somebody, hey, I have this thing for sale. Would you like to buy it from me? It's like when you put an offer out in front of somebody. And bro, I'm not going to lie, Steve, like you are my biggest hype man on this statement, but like 65% of purchases happen during the first time user experience. And like, I can't get over that stat because I've seen it time and time again to be true in all the apps that I'm building. So it's like, if you have a really strong funnel of strong screenshots, strong onboarding flow, strong copy, you can get people to pay for your app before they even use it. Of course, you need to deliver on your promise. But my point is that there is no other internet business out there that converts at as high of a rate as mobile apps. E-commerce shops, 0.5%, 1%, 2% if they're lucky, right? Like there's no business that converts potentially 20% of your downloads or your signups into a paying customer. 20% in e-commerce would be absolutely nuts and non-scalable. But in mobile apps, it's extremely scalable to be converting 20% of your signups to a purchase, so long as everything is optimized.
Yeah. I love that quote. Alim, you just said something so powerful. I'm writing it down, and Sanchi and I are going back and forth, making sure we need to clip that out. But you said there's no business that converts more customers than the mobile business. And it, like I thought about it for a second. I'm like, you know what? That's absolutely true. Like I have seen conversions of up to like 20, 25%. And it's just insane to see those type of numbers. And you honestly wouldn't see it in a lot of other businesses. So it's a great statement. I like it.
I'm about to just show you.
Yeah. You mean to hide it first?
No. I'm just gonna bring it into this. This is one of our apps
We don't see
that we.
anything like perfect, but right
Yeah,
now.
I'm bringing it in. You can see it now.
Okay,
This
yeah,
is one of
there
our
we go.
apps that I just grabbed out of Mixpanel. Like, 7 days. We've had 766 people create an account. 90% of people make it from create account to the paywall, and
Nice.
like barely 14% of people are purchasing. So like 95 over 766, like 12% conversion rate. That's absolutely nuts. And and this app just launched a couple of weeks ago, and we still think we can get this up to 20%.
Wow. Is that somebody buying or starting a trial?
This is actually no trial, just straight purchase, and it's
Nice.
a high ticket purchase. It's $34.95 a month.
Wow. Amazing. A year?
A month.
Month. Wow.
Yeah, it's very expensive mobile app, and we're crushing it.
You know, I've actually seen like no trials work pretty well too. We bought an app, we added a trial, and we're probably seeing less conversions with a trial. Maybe I'll do a breakdown of that
Really?
video. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I was really nervous about doing a high ticket mobile app. Like I've never done like a $40 subscription on a mobile app, let alone a $40 subscription on a
On a
SaaS.
monthly, dude. On a monthly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And it's interesting. Like our retention is really high because like the ICP, the profile of the user, are like people who are willing to invest in tools for their business. So it's kind of like a B2B SaaS mobile app, if you will. And I never thought about that. Like, more expensive would definitely mean like less conversions, but more expensive means you're getting a higher end clientele who might be more likely to retain. And that, when I was first starting out in this whole subscription mobile app game, was a hard concept to grasp, but it's actually really true. We are now running a test where we used to charge $29.99. Now we're up to, I think, 34 or 39. So we're going to do a month-long test now where we see what the retention looks like and do the math on, is LTV positive? Is LTV net positive because of the change, or is it net negative? So we'll report back on that.
BN says, was thinking this episode wouldn't be for me based on the title. It's Sanchu's fault. Okay, I'm gonna blame everything on Sanchu. But this has been fire. So Alim, shout out to you, man.
Right on. I'm glad people like it. Yeah, so kind of going back to this. Going back to this here. Like, so what you see here on my screen here is like the this part, like the download to onboarding to paywall. Like, is if you set this up the right way, then all you got to do is go into Mixpanel, track the events, pump some traffic into your app, maybe spend money on ASO or spend money on Apple search ads or TikTok ads. Like, just pump a couple $100 into it, and then just test your math equation. And don't like get emotional. Don't get emotional about like what screens you have and what features are in there. Like, the best business people aren't emotional. They're objective. And it's very easy to get emotional when you built the app yourself and when you have so much stake in it. But I'm not going to lie, like, this is one of my apps. Like, I own a piece of this, but I'm not emotional about it. Like, I just look at the numbers and we make very like scientific decisions based on the numbers. So like, download onboarding paywall. We know here that people are getting to the paywall just fine, 89%, but people aren't converting. So my job right now as a scientist, not even like a developer, as a scientist, is how do I get this up? Maybe if I do a hard paywall, will it decrease or will it increase? If I add a testimonial on this page, will it increase or will it decrease? We just have to form hypotheses, look at things as math equations, and just try to get the numbers to go up.
I love it.
So anyways, I've kind of represented the onboarding to paywall part, but now you get the retention loop, or the core app loop is what we call it. And your core app loop is what people get wrong the most. Like, it's the set of features, or it's like the step-by-step flow of how do you get somebody into your app, achieve the value, and then get the hell out of your app, right? So at PrizePicks, we always aim to get somebody in the app, place an entry, and out within a minute, so that they could get back to watching the sports game. Also, like, your paywall has got to like flow into what that first time user experience will look like. And if you notice this flow right here, like after you pay or you don't pay, you probably will go to the homepage, or we've even seen some people go straight to like step 1 of the core app flow. But I like to go to the homepage because I like designing homepages where like people get used to seeing it and then they get used to completing a task. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment. But essentially, like, they go to the homepage and then they finish a series of tasks in order, And say you're building a meditation app, right? Like your homepage could be a set of meditations for the day. And you would tap on one of them, and then that would take you through the meditation step 1. Maybe you would complete the meditation, you would do some sort of journaling, you would see a recap, and that takes you back to the homepage. So you would do this flow, and that would achieve the goal or solve the problem that your user came to your app to solve. And when you set this up in a flow like this, you can also track the math equation. Like you can see, hey, 100 people started the core loop, 90 people made it to step 2, 50 people made it to step 3, 30 made it to step 4, and 10 made it out. Meaning you have a very big problem in your core loop if 100 people are starting it and only 10 people are finishing it. So now we can apply the law of constraints and look at, hey, where's my biggest constraint? Okay, this one's okay because I have 90% of people finishing it. Oh crap, but this one's not that good because out of 90, only 50 are finishing it. So let me attack this constraint first, meaning let me fix whatever feature this is and try to improve it to get more people to step 3. Yeah. Similarly, we have a constraint here, and then we have a constraint here. And so our job as developers is to attack one constraint at a time. But here's the pro tip. You don't want to attack all of them at once because you want to make sure you're isolating variables. And if you change too many things at once, you won't know which change you made actually affected your end result.
I love it. We have case studies too, Alim, just to go on that. If you check out Nico's episode, just YouTube that, and you'll find Nico talks just about his core loop and how increasing like just 20% of each step led to exponential growth in the overall core loop too. So
absolutely. That's really cool. I think I do remember Nico's. Yeah. And then actually I do want to show like one more.
Hey, so how are you on time? Because we got about, let's say 10 minutes left.
Okay. I'm okay on time. I think that was kind of like the main thing. I would be interested in showing like some of the tools that we teach at Ambitious Labs and to show maybe people how they can build an app themselves. We'll be really curious to know like, who's actually building themselves versus who's trying to hire a developer. But y'all, like going back to the end of the story here, like, I was working the 9 to 5 at PrizePicks, and I was starting to get bored. So I was like digging into the no code and the AI landscape to figure out like, hey, are apps easier to build? Like, am I wasting my time writing line by line, word by word? And I found this tool called Flutterflow. And Flutterflow is a drag and drop tool that allows you to build what's called a Flutter mobile app. And Flutter is a programming framework that was built by Google. I'm gonna share a different screen here. But Flutter was a programming framework built by Google, which allows you to build iOS and Android apps. And actually most apps that are being launched these days are Flutter-based apps. But Flutterflow is built by 2 guys who left Google to build a drag and drop app builder called Flutterflow. And so as you can see here, you're just dragging and dropping. It kind of looks like a website builder, but it's for mobile apps. However, it's not like super beginner friendly. You need to be able to understand code. And how I like to say it, Steve, is like you need to know enough code to be dangerous. Like you need to know variables, if statements, loops. You need to know how to design a database, like data structures. Like essentially you need to have completed like a semester of like computer science in college to be able to use this.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually incredible. Most people are probably getting scared thinking about that, but I think it's incredible because you can build extremely complex and powerful apps, and you're not limited to what you can build because if anything ever breaks, you know enough code to be dangerous. Not only can you fix the code, but when you go hire a developer and try working with devs, like you can call them out on their BS. I've seen so many times entrepreneurs get just completely held hostage. Like a developer says, oh, integrating that API is going to take a week. And I, as a developer, know it's not going to take a week. It might take 3 days. And so when you know enough to be dangerous, you can manage teams a lot more effectively and you can build your app and just be more in control of what you're building. So yeah, Flutterflow is what we use to build apps. You can just drag and drop and kind of put together your own Flutter-based mobile app. I won't jump into it because it's a big rabbit hole, but the stack that we've built, that I've selected is Flutterflow, Firebase, which is a backend service. So think about like the brain of your app. When you send an order or when you log in or create an account, you need a brain to store all that information. So Firebase is actually a backend that is built by Google. Firebase is a Google product, and essentially it handles your login, your sign up, your database, your push notifications, and they have this whole suite of tools that you can use to build mobile apps. It looks pretty daunting, but really it's not. Like, I can show you one of my other apps called Virally, and as you can see here, like, this app made a couple bucks recently. It's got some users. This is our database, where as users interact with the app, you can see their stuff populate here, and it's really not that hard. It's like, you see what's called a document that's inserted into the database, and if you learn how these documents are designed, you could easily build an app that, I don't know, generates like TikTok content ideas, or you can build like really easy apps honestly pretty quickly. So what we do is Flutterflow integrates directly with Firebase because they're both like Google backed platforms. They integrate really beautifully. So you can have your database and your authentication kind of in here. And yeah, you can just build like pretty simple apps pretty quickly. You can even see here they are integrating that. However, this isn't the fun part. The fun part is, okay, like a lot of people nowadays are trying to build like AI tools, right? Like, or they're trying to build like automation tools or apps that integrate with ChatGPT. We found this really cool no-code backend builder called BuildShip that allows you to create like your own complex workflows. Think like AI integrations, or like video generators, or like they have a bunch of stuff here, like scraping the web or sending emails, like you name it. Any like backend thing, like you can do it with BuildShip. But so the last kind of kabang here is, how do you turn all this into a business, right? So once you find that core problem that you want to solve for your user and create that core loop, now it's time to charge a monthly subscription. Flutterflow integrates directly with RevenueCat, so you can just hook up your RevenueCat account and just start charging people with just a couple different clicks, design a paywall, and start charging people to use your app. And so this is our portfolio of apps that we have built using this exact stack: BuildShip, Firebase, and Flutterflow. And yeah, as you can see, like, we've had a couple students and clients who are working with us who are absolutely crushing it. This also includes some of my apps as well. So yeah, like, this has completely changed the game for app developers, and now you can build really beautiful apps that have like less than 15 screens and just absolutely print money. But you got to do it the right way, otherwise you're just kind of setting yourself up for failure.
I like it. All right, we got some questions for you. He's loving it. Marco says, I use Firestore with multiple projects. This is when you were talking about, what was the other one? Was it Firebase?
Yeah, Firebase, yeah.
Firebase. Marco, he also loves what's your opinion on Loveable for mobile apps?
Yeah, I hate this whole vibe coding thing that a lot of people are talking about, especially if you're a beginner, because Loveable and Bolt are great for like generating apps and like seeing how magical it is. But once you run into a bug, you don't know how to fix it because you don't know how to read code. So yeah, Loveable and Bolt, like, I'm sure they can build like the screens, but like the actual business logic, I think you need to be in control of it. I think with vibe coding, we're still seeing a lot of issues with control, and people are coming to Ambitious Labs after saying, hey, yeah, we tried vibe coding it, but we need more guidance. Like, we need to learn the basics before we jump in. So
what kind of basics, Alim? Like
how to read variables, how to what are data types, what are if statements, control flow and logic. I think those are all like the basics that you need to understand. Like, even like how to look at a error statement, because like Loveable and Bolt always throw errors, and it's like, cannot read property undefined of this. So what does that mean? Okay, that means that there's no value assigned to a variable, and beginners wouldn't know that. So then they wouldn't know what to tell Bolt or what to tell Loveable to fix that.
I see. I love it. All right, Kalpesh, I think we answered your answer, but Kalpesh asks, can you give some advice on improving engagement for these type of single player utility apps? And Alim, I'm going to assume single player is like, hey, one thing, the app does one thing and does it really, really well. You can expand it, but really focus on that one thing. And it's kind of towards the point of what in our pre-show notes, you're like, really understanding user behavior is more important than the freaking code that you write. So
absolutely.
But I think you talked about it. Like, look at each step and then kind of break down with each step and really try to improve. And Kalpesh, what Nico did was he got on user calls. Like, he was aiming for 3 a week. I forget what the numbers are, but he was so like a maniac, so focused and obsessed with getting on user calls and understanding. And what Alim talked about too is like what you talked about PrizePicks. We want people to do a pick, make a bet within a minute, leave the app so they can go back to watching sports, and then just figuring out how you can really fix that flow too.
100%. I think
Liam, was there anything else you wanted to add on the presentation?
No, user calls are super important because we don't realize this, but like, you need to understand how, like, where people are, like literally physically when they're using your app. Yeah. Like, we realized that people, when they were playing PrizePicks, are either sitting on their couch or they're at their friends or they're at the game or they're at the bar. You really need to understand where people are when they use your app. Scan Profit is an app for when people are at Costco or Sam's Club or Walmart and they're scanning products to find things. And we need to design the app in a way where it can be useful in that moment of time where you're pushing a cart with one hand and you got your phone here, right? Like, or if you're a meditation app, you need to design your app in a way where somebody can be in a peaceful environment. So that's like one thing, really understand where your user is like in the moment. And then secondly, I think automated push notifications and automated emails are an easy way to improve all your KPIs by 3 to 5% immediately. Go to OneSignal, set up an account, it's free. Put together a 7-day push notification sequence and a 7-day email sequence, and you'll instantly see your KPIs bump. Just because most people download your app like when they're in the line at Starbucks or when they're, getting their day started, and just re-engaging them through emails and staying on top of them is one easy way just to keep your brand front facing.
I like it. Grimmy says, Steve, hope you feel better. Enjoying the stream as always. I feel good. And just my voice is gone. Wait, Alim. So I love that strategy. Push notifications through OneSignal and email. Is there any tricks, any subject lines, any type of push notifications that work well in bringing back users?
I think you just got to test. It depends on the app. Like we've seen with sports apps that people love. Like I was consulting for a sports betting client like the last couple months, and we tested like really formal like copy, and then we tested like, think you know sports, try again. Like you thought you knew sports, come test your abilities. So like triggering people's emotions works. But honestly, Steve, like value in the emails, like teaching people love value. And so writing a really strong email, don't ChatGPT generate it. Write a real email that's like, say if you're doing an anxiety app, like what causes anxiety? Like what 3 ways to stop your anxiety today? Like write like real value emails, and people will actually read them. You don't want to just think of yourself as a robot just because you're a mobile app business. You want people to like resonate with your app and a brand as a person. So for the couple clients that we've consulted, and for Scan Profit, we're actually taking our time writing the sequence. If I really wanted to, I could just chat GPT, be like, hey, brainstorm me 10, email sequences right now for Scan Profit. But we're actually having one of our content writers write a 7-day course on like how to be successful with Amazon. And we feel that that's going to be a lot better for conversion and trust.
Yeah, completely. And one of the things I like to do is one client we helped out with was we had an email sequence, and I adjusted his day 1 email from like the benefits of working out to here's our most popular workouts.
Oh yeah,
that 1.8x his workout rate. Because as you might know, Liam, like with workout apps, like especially when they're on a trial, make sure they can try to do at least 1 workout and they'll likely stay with you. And so that's what we're trying to get him to just work out once within the app.
That's 100%. Yeah, shouldn't go overlooked. Like you want your users to achieve that value early in the lifetime. And that will always increase your long-term retention.
All right, I got one more question for you, and then we'll hit the app audit and some dad jokes too. Mr. Hanan says, how do we integrate all this and make it a profitable app, your tech stack?
You just got to start building right now. You got to get off this video right after this call, go make an account at Flutterflow and Firebase, pull up my YouTube channel. I have a full course, and just start follow my full course on YouTube. I have a 3-hour course that I think 70,000 people have watched, and just go build your first app with me on my YouTube channel. And I really am confident, like after you do that, after you go through that full course, you'll be able to build an app yourself.
Hey, what can we link that into the show notes, that 3-hour course from Alim's YouTube channel too? We'll get that all linked up.
And then the idea is that once you build your app and you launch it with our course or our program, you go to Steve and you start marketing it.
Yeah, there you go, man. I love it. That's what I was gonna say. Go check out Mizrana. Go check out Ambitious Labs. Okay, ambitiouslabs.io. Let them know we sent you. And Liam's gonna actually hook you up with $500 off the course too if you just mention App Masters. So thank you for that, bro. All right. With that, let's get into the dad jokes part of the show. All right, Liam, you got some dad jokes for me?
I mean, as you know, I was struggling with this earlier, but I do.
Okay, good. So for their users who are interested, all you got to do is listen to the joke, pick your favorite joke, and then we're going to select a random winner to give you a free Indie App Santa promo. If you're not familiar with Indie App Santa, it's part of the App Masters umbrella, and we can promote your app. You've heard me talk about App Advice. It's another platform. We became their best customer, so we ended up purchasing the company, working with Francois, who built a great business and a great tool for app developers. And for those who aren't aware, we have some new plans under Indie App Santa that you get the starter plan for free, but if you need ASO help or other monetization and want to talk to me in particular, you can go sign up there as well. It's a little hack for you, but that will work too. So free one on you just by voting. All right, Liam, let's get into it. All right, Bren, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
I'll start.
All right. I'm ready for you.
All right. So Steve, I only know 25 letters of the alphabet.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't know why.
I like it. All right. Okay. Got some jokes. Liam, Tinder is completely useless and I don't have a single match. If I don't find another to start a campfire tonight, I'll freeze to death. Okay. That was pretty horrible, but that's the only one I got. Okay. I'm running out of them because I'm like, I've already used this one. So put A if you thought Liam's joke was better. Put S if you thought my joke was better. Don't do ASF. Okay. But A for Liam, S for me. And then Hisanchi is going to wrap them all up. And then we're going to pick a lucky winner for an Indie App Santa promo. Michael, how dare you? Kick him off. Kick him off. Oh, you kick all you guys off. I know. Okay. I know. It was a bad joke. All right. Screw you guys. I'm not going to show you guys it. Seb, that is just pure betrayal. All right. We've got Andrea's app. They need help on ASO and product page. So it's a flashlight app. We haven't seen these in a while. But they got 20,000 ratings, which I was surprised. 4.7 average rating. Liam, anything you see here that we can do? I like this. I like this. This is a trick that we used to do way back in the day where you put a special character to make your app store unique, but really like getting exact match almost on your app store title does help rankings. So I like this ASO here. I think I would just do some more keyword research. I don't know if torch, flash, and strobe light are interesting keywords, but if they are, go for it. But I can show you how to do keyword research too. But that's what I would say. What do you got, my friend?
Yeah, this is like a new segment of apps for me, like these really, really, really tight utilities. Like I feel like these are just heavy on App Store search because like this is something that people will need in the moment, right? Like I'm not laying in my bed saying like, oh, I need a flashlight right now. Like I'm in the dark tripping where I can't find something because I'm in the attic and the light's off and I need a flashlight now. So like I think ranking up as high as you possibly can and then selling the outcome of like the fastest and brightest flashlight, like that sounds solid to me.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much help we can do other than just like look up other keywords that are around flashlight that you can do. But what I have seen is just doing strict ASO in terms of like just getting narrow in your focus back to your, single player. It helps your ASO too, because you can get narrowly focused on a few keywords and that actually helps the algorithm too. So maybe just focus more on anything flashlight related or flash related, but I don't know if there's keywords around torch and flash here too. I like it. Looks really good. There's no monetization within the app, Andrea, so I'm sure it's just relying on ads, my prediction.
And I mean, these types of apps make a lot of sense for ads. Like when you have an app that can serve hundreds of millions of users because it's a problem that every single person has. I just don't think it works when you have a startup and it's a completely like novel idea and it's not something that people are looking for day to day, like that's when I'm not a big fan of ads. But for this, yeah, like you get 1 million downloads and your CPMs are good, you can make a bunch of money.
Love it. H, let me know when you're ready. Give me a signal, and then I'll bring up the wheel and all that stuff too. But Alim, it's pretty obvious. Thank you for that, Ryan and Rudy, for the jokes. That was a blowout. Yes, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. All right. Let's go. You got one more? You want to do round 2 for me to redeem myself? Oh, wait, Sanchi's got one? Sanchi, you got a winner? Where you know who won? You ready to bring your the wheel up? All right, Sanchi's, we're gonna pick a winner. All right, Sanchi. I got murdered.
Okay.
Don't lean in on this, okay? All right, spin that wheel, baby.
Okay, let's spin the wheel.
Go, Joe. Go, Rudy. Not Joe. Screw you, Joe. Go, Ryan. No, that traitor.
Seb's the end.
All right, Seb. It's all you. Well, I know Seb. We're just gonna give him a discount, okay? Not the free one. All right, Sanchu.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. All right, Seb. Just I'll reach out to you, or I'll email you too. But reach out to me, and then we'll hook you up with a free Indie App Santa promo if you're interested.
Ooh, what a deal!
What a deal! All right, you got one more, bro? You said.
Where did the fruit go on vacation?
Where?
Paris.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. I gotta copy that one. I haven't heard that one. Usually I've heard it. All right. Lim, first time camping. Sleeping was intense.
Oh,
Oops.
damn, that was good. That was good.
All right. Thank you. All right. We'll do one more vote. Okay. I don't know if we'll do one more vote. How about that? Zanji, you want to give out one more or no?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. All right, Zanchi wants to give out one more. Okay. So just vote A or S, and then we'll give out one more Indie App Center promo. And then Kalpesh, who has been patiently waiting, will bring up his app while we do all that right now. So he's got I like this, AI homework helper right now. Needs help with in-app purchases and premium monetization. Cool. Any thoughts on the homepage or this category, Alim?
This is a App Store listing for Google Play, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are we at right now? 1K downloads.
AI homework helper. Yeah, like I think right now the AI homework helpers are super saturated. I think like not super saturated, but like competitive. I think like finding like a certain type of homework and like optimizing against like a certain type of homework is probably your best bet right now, and becoming really, really good at one type of homework, like whether that's case studies or papers or algebra, or I don't know, I'm out of school for a while now, but like find a specific type of homework. And I think that's going to be your best bet if you're not running like huge paid ads. I think for ASO, like that's probably your best bet.
Yeah, I love it. I would say the same thing. That's my little, yeah, you get a point for that. Okay. You're beating me on that. I would say the same thing, because I know I've done ASO on keyword research on this category, and I know algebra, biology, those have decent traffic. So I would probably lean in on that aspect of it too. But let's get into the app.
Niche slap.
Niche slap. Yes, sir. All right. Go to Complete AI. All right, Kalpesh, let's hook you up. Welcome to Complete AI. Subject-wise questions. Yeah, like, you know, this, Alim, you might say the same thing. Like, you're not talking about the benefits. You're just talking about subject-wise questions, multiple subjects supported. No, like solve any homework equation in under 5 minutes. That's more interesting than like subject-wise questions, multiple subjects reported. Write a brief, various long articles. Okay.
You gotta get uncomfortable. That's what I'm telling all my builders. You gotta get uncomfortable with your writing. You gotta write stuff that you've never thought about writing before. Like, and if it doesn't make you feel weird at night, if you don't lose sleep, your copy's not good enough. Like, that's the only way I've been able to get it across. Like, think about what I'm doing. I'm promising you a profitable app when you come work with Ambitious Labs. We're promising you like being able to replace your full-time income at Scam Profit. Like, you gotta lose sleep at night with your copy. Otherwise, it's not strong enough.
I like it. Why does this age matter? If it's like, I don't know why. I mean, maybe you can't target under 18, but like, I'm assuming homework is for those either in college or high school or even younger. So this is kind of a weird Kalpesh to have, but all right. I'm now in this fucking bracket. Okay. For those who are just listening, you don't get to know. Okay. For those watching, keep it to yourself. There you go. And this is where I came up with that anxiety relief thing. We had one client who found out that like finish homework fast had the highest trial activation. So use this, Kalpesh, these questions, what is your goal, as your marketing copy, wherever they pick, and then that leads to higher trial activations. Use that in your marketing copy.
Yeah, finish homework fast. Look, I know we don't want to say it, but that means cheat. Like, that's like one of those things where you got to get uncomfortable.
Yeah, I like it. I'm gonna pick my son's grade. All right, there you go. Now you had there, Kalpesh.
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah, see, this could be your onboarding. Okay.
I even think like, if people want to finish their homework fast, like then you should optimize the onboarding flow to finish homework fast. Like maybe
I know
we don't even need an onboarding. Like we just take your homework information and we start doing your homework. And then when someone's almost done with their homework, that's when you throw the paywall and they'll be at the edge and they want to finish their homework, so they'll pay you.
Uh-oh, Kalpesh, it's broken. I'm tapping on all these things and nothing is happening. Sorry, my friend, I'm going back. Something went wrong. Uh-oh, Kalpesh. Sorry. Signing in. Okay. 8 months ago, but I'm not working. Oh, okay. He's not working on it anymore. I know we have a long wait for the app audits. Okay. For those who are familiar, want to get this, but all right, Kalpesh, I don't know what the paywall is. And since you haven't done it in a while, you haven't updated it. I would show the paywall before you make people sign in, just because this is where a lot of drop off happens. If you have a high sign up rate, great. If you don't, think about moving it, switching it. We did this for a fitness app where we showed the paywall right before we asked people to sign up, and we saw 52% increase in sales because we were losing 60% of the users on this particular paywall. So as more people saw the paywall, more people were likely to pay. And the lesson learned was more people are likely to pay you then want to sign up for your stupid, no, I wouldn't call it stupid app, but more people are willing to pay you than sign up for your app. So that's what I would suggest. And I haven't seen your paywall and you're not working on it. So why waste time? What did you want to add anything, Alim, to his app?
No, I think you nailed it. Looks good.
Yeah, love it. All right, Alim, we have 2 knockout wins. So I dominated this one. I bageled you. There's no A's.
It seems that way. Damn.
Redemption, my friend. All right, it's on you. You want to come back in, my friend, and pick a winner for us?
Yes, let's go.
We have to just remove Marco's name. Come on. Let's go, Ryan. Marco always wins. He's like rigs this thing. All right, new person. Nice.
Nice, Micah.
Michael. Wow, Alim, we got to lose some sleep. I don't know what he was talking about there.
Probably because we gave him a lot of work.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. It's not you. Anything I miss? I don't think so, right? So we got 2. We got Michael. You got the names. Michael and who's the other person?
Sebastian.
Oh, yeah, Sebastian. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's awesome. Okay, cool. Alim, anything I missed that you want to make sure we cover before we say goodbye?
No, I think that's it, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Like I said, if there's anybody out there who, after watching this, feels like I can help them build and they're ready to build and roll up their sleeves and be in full control of their app, would love to have you in our community. And yeah, I know there's going to be stuff that Steve and I work on together, where after people build with us, they can get help from Steve. We might be even bringing Steve's content into our platform a bit. So excited to partner up deeper with App Masters and be the bridge and take over the mobile app space with Steve.
Yeah, really good stuff. And I love that it's just like, you're not over-promising. Like, hey, look, this is when you have an app idea, don't go wasting thousands, tens of thousands of dollars trying to hire somebody, not knowing what monetization strategies to have, what a proper onboarding should look like, what you actually need, how little actually, Alim, you need to have a profitable business, and you're going to stay at step by step. And so that's what this course is all about. Go check them out. It is ambitiouslabs.io. The link you have, if you use a link, that'll be helpful for me, /appmasters, that'll be helpful for me, and just drop App Masters and they'll hook you up with an offer as well. All right, Alim, that is it, I think. Yeah, so much good content, man. I really love it. So we're gonna change the title too. I was like, okay, this needs to be the MBA I grabbed it from your website. The MBA for app startup founders. I love it, man, because you were just locked in. You had some fire type of
You know
knowledge
what?
here.
We actually, I got to say this, but we actually want to potentially pivot to like MBA, Masters of Building Apps.
I love that, dude.
That'd be
That's a
crazy.
good one.
Yeah,
That's
we're
a good
thinking
one.
about it.
That's a good acronym. All right, nobody steal that. All right, you're gonna hear first. Okay. Calvesh says, thank you. Thanks, Lynn, for the great insights. That was great content. So love it. Joe says, great stream. We'll be rewatching. Great stuff. Okay. It's Michael Ackerman too. Recording of this. Yo, on LinkedIn. It's always on LinkedIn, but it's always on YouTube too. For those watching on LinkedIn. All right. It's always on YouTube. So go check it out. Sanchu, who do we have coming next week? I should just check my calendar. Sanchu. Oh, actually, we're at MAU. We're at MAU next week, so we're not sure if we're going to be on or not. So look out for a surprise drop. But then on May 30th, we'll definitely be back with Zach, and he's got a platform that is very, very exciting. It's about to be launched, but it's really going to help you, let me see, personalize your monetization, help you earn more from every user. So join us May 30th here. And next week, we might be here. It'll be Sancho and I at an Airbnb in Vegas. So we might join and just go live just for fun. We're on LinkedIn. Where you're watching it, bro. Go to my profile and you'll find it there the whole time. All right, Sebastian. Alim, thank you so much for coming out and doing this, man.
No, thank you, my friend. Really, really appreciate it.
Go check out ambitiouslabs.io. Thank you for watching. Have a